Hello everyone, welcome to another knowledge session of Kotak Mutual Fund. Today we have with us Mr. Pankaj Tibrewal. Mr. Pankaj Tibrewal doesn't need any introduction, but just for everybody's knowledge and consumption, he's a senior portfolio manager managing all the mid-cap strategies at Kotak Mutual Fund. He has been with the firm for more than 10 years. Currently managing the Kotak Emerging Equity, the small cap strategy, and the aggressive hybrid, which is the former balance category product. Uh, uh, I think a lot of you all are familiar with Pankaj, his views on the markets, and he's been when he speaks from the heart, and that is something that all of us really enjoy. So, without not taking too much time, there are a few questions that I have on behalf of everyone. Sorry, for Pankaj. Pankaj, hi, welcome to this session of Kotak Mutual Fund.
Hi, Manish.
Yeah, and always a pleasure and happy to see you through this Zoom call. And I think the first question, which I'm sure is there on all our distributors, clients' minds, and which they want to know from you, is that looking at the current situation and the scenario as far as the market is concerned, economy is concerned, from lockdown 1, 2, 3, 4, we are now to unlock 1. Given this scenario and situation, what do you think? What is your outlook as far as the market and the economy is concerned?
So I hope all the viewers who are viewing this video probably are safe and sound. Uh, Clearly, these are unprecedented times. Probably no one has seen, and clearly, we believe that economy this year will be going through a difficult time. Uh, we had the strictest lockdown in the world, and for almost 2 months, less than 50% of the economy operated, which means that you will have a severe consequences on the economic growth. If I was to go by analyst estimate, anywhere between -5 to 10% will be the GDP growth for this year. Uh, if I was to sum up, I think this year is an outlier year. We should not look at FY21, both from a GDP perspective and a corporate earnings perspective. I think a more normalized year would be FY22, where things should start coming back to normal, assuming we have a medical solution or a vaccine in the next 12 months with us. I think the only silver lining, if you ask me, in this entire gloom is our external environment. We are very well positioned on the balance of payment. Probably this year would be a surplus year in terms of balance of payment, which is keeping our currency stable. And that is because the oil prices have come down substantially, and that is giving us $30 to $50 billion of benefit. The other silver lining is the agriculture front. Clearly, the rural area has been less impacted. And we had a bumper Rabi, and the expectation of Kharif is also looking very good. And whichever industries which are related to rural, when we speak to them and we are looking at the numbers, I think everybody is talking about a very strong demand momentum coming back. And that is a very good sign that things are coming back as we are unlocking our economy. Also, we believe that many sectors which are related to agri, like tractors, fertilizers, seeds, agrochemicals, all are actually seeing good demand momentum. So that's another silver lining. We believe that if you look at from a market perspective, our view is that the first half of earnings washout and GDP contraction is priced in. We will clearly in the short term see a lot of volatility, and probably market would consolidate in the range. Our view is that markets are pricing in a second half normalization process. If we get any further evidence which challenges the growth outlook in the second half, then only markets will get a second shock. We are probably right now not in the camp which is believing that we will see or retest the previous March 23rd lows. We believe that that could only happen if we see a second wave of COVID in India or globally, or the numbers in India in terms of recovery rate comes down substantially, death rate goes up, and the number of positive cases goes out of control. If those things and basic assumptions are not challenged, we believe that slowly market will find its own way. And the better year to look at it from both earnings and growth perspective will be FY22, because for almost 2 months this lockdown has impacted our GDP growth. Assuming FY22 won't have such impact, you would see growth normalizing that year.
Lovely, Pankaj. That's really very encouraging to know. The next question that I think a lot of people have on their mind and they like to know is that, given the current scenario, and we've been reading a lot in the newspapers about, certain industries in this market scenario may do well, certain industries may not do well. People are already telling that, maybe consumer oriented businesses may have some kind of a challenging time, especially maybe media or maybe entertainment or theaters, and because of the way people in general may behave. In this kind of situations in which so much of sound bites and scenario changes happening, how are you going about investing? Like in terms of in this current juncture, what I mean, how are you looking at companies? How are you looking at the various industries, and how are you making your decisions in terms of building any exposure in the portfolios, either in existing sectors or companies, or probably looking to add something or get out of something?
A very relevant question, and in this time, I think a lot of confusion there in the marketplace of which companies to buy, which sectors to bet on for the next 3-5 years. And I think clearly our focus over the last many years on focusing on balance sheet and cash flows and management has come very handy in this environment where future is very hazy. I think that I think it's very important to go through the filters which we are using for selection of stocks and companies in our portfolios. And I'll be very honest to admit that we haven't made too many changes in our portfolio, because most of our investee companies, when we went through the stress test, probably looks that they will be the survivors in this crisis. So clearly our focus in the past years of balance sheet and cash flows are coming handy. So what are the filters? Clearly one filter is that the company or the investee company should not have much leverage. And I think clearly leverage would be a killer in this environment. And probably unlevered companies will do much better in this cycle post the crisis. The second is the breakup between fixed cost and variable cost. Our always preference have been companies towards lower fixed cost and higher variable cost, and that's also coming very handy in this environment. Companies with lower fixed cost, because of the 2 months of lockdown, probably will have a much better hand whenever the crisis ends. So that's one filter. The second, Manish, is that always whenever future is hazy, you go back to the past. And I believe that the past provides a lot of evidence on how the future will behave. And I think that's where we have developed a framework on the management side. It's easy to quantify balance sheet and cash flow, but it's difficult to quantify management. And what we did is we went back into the previous crisis and saw how many investee companies in our portfolio have the same management which were there in the previous down cycle, and how did they steer their company out of the crisis or the economic downturn last time, and how after the crisis for the next 3 and 5 years they grew their profit and loss, top line and bottom line without diluting balance sheet and cash flows. And you'll be surprised to know almost 60%. So for example, a Kotak emerging equity portfolio would have managements which were there in the previous down cycle. About 20% of them have seen one management change, and about 15% of them have seen 2 or more management changes, which have basically from financials or MNC. So I think clearly we are betting on managements which have seen previous cycles, and we are betting that they will be coming out of this crisis in a much stronger form. The third filter which we are using is that once the dust settles down, the companies which have long runway for growth will do extremely well. Then companies which are in saturated categories, because the market share fight will again start. So I think strong runway for growth is the third filter which we are using, where penetration levels must be very low in which the companies, in the sectors where the company is operating. And fourth, obviously, I always believe that margin of safety is the most important, and the valuations and the price which we are paying for the company. And in many sectors and in many companies, we are seeing when we do a reverse DCF, there's hardly any growth in the free cash flow for the next 10 years. That's how markets are so pessimist right now in many companies. But barring few quarters where the visibility is not there, we believe that balance sheet, cash flow and managements are strong, and that offers a very, very significant margin of safety. So the price which we are paying is also very important. So these are some of the filters which we are using for our investee. But I'll be honest that we have not seen a significant churn in our portfolio. And that shows that probably a lot of our investee companies will come out much stronger in this cycle than what we previously thought about.
Excellent. Pankaj, one question that comes to everyone's mind is that every time when there is a market which has broken away or has rallied, it's always been the large caps which are the first to run away from the pack, and then subsequently the mid caps and then the small caps to follow. I recollect, in July of last year, a strong call on mid caps and small caps given by you, and we did see them performing very well and fantastically well right up till maybe February, just before the crisis started to happen and the market started to see the volatility and the plunge. If in case history has always behaved in this manner, if we believe that yes, this is going to be the next trend away, for someone who's looking at mid caps and small caps at this point of time from an exposure perspective, what would your advice to them be?
So I think markets are at a very interesting juncture today. A lot of people are saying or using the 2008-9 template and saying that probably we'll see a double dip or a triple dip and probably we'll retest the previous lows. We believe that probably the template is not 2008-9. Probably one should look at a template of 2000-2003. And I think clearly the market positioning today is mimicking that what happened in 2000-2003. And I'm a firm believer that history may not repeat itself, but history always rhymes. In our view, the bear market in India started in 2018, and broader market was seeing correction. And probably this was the last leg, or we are in a leg where we are seeing large caps also correcting. Just to put numbers in context, Manish, since January of 2018 till 23rd of March, almost 79% of the companies have seen more than 50% correction if you look at the top 1500 companies. So it's not that there's a new cycle which is starting, and this correction is almost like the same correction which we saw in 2008-9. Look at what happened between 2000-2003. Between 98 to 2000, you saw a TMT rally, which is telecom, media, and tech. And that was a most hated rally because the old economy stocks clearly lagged. Between 18 to 20, also we saw that very few concentrated large cap stocks rallied, which took the Nifty and Sensex up. But the broader market was in a severe pain, and we saw a huge correction in the broader market. I think today, when you look at the markets on a broader basis, we believe that valuations are extremely, extremely attractive on a broader space. Small cap index is trading at almost 2010 levels. Mid cap index is trading at 2014 levels. And despite of the fact that the constituents of those index have grown their profitability, have grown their top line. So there has been a valuation derating which has happened in the last couple of years. And we believe that in the near term, probably market may consolidate. But whenever clarity starts emerging, you will see broader market in the next 2 years doing much better than the frontline indices, which is Nifty and Sensex. And already in the calendar year to date, despite of this being the strictest lockdown in the world, despite of being COVID, despite of being so much of uncertainty, you will be surprised to know that out of the BSE 500 stocks, 100 stocks have given you positive return. These are not the sign of new bear market for the broader market. My sense is we have been in that bear market for almost 2.5 years. Probably give 5-6 months more from a consolidation perspective. But I think broader market is looking much, much more attractive than the frontline indices.
Lovely, Pankaj. Always a pleasure to hear your views on the market. And thank you so much once again for sharing your views with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.